Okay, so this session will begin with friction. How should we think of friction? Friction also is a part of contact force. But whenever you have a contact, there are two things we call. We call as a normal reaction, and that tangential component of contact force we call friction. So whenever any object, suppose this object is placed here, and rather than looking y and x axis for a while, we many times I use n cap here. What is n cap? N cap is the normal direction. We hope any surface, whether it's plane or curve, we understand which direction the normal will be. And so thus the object is placed in contact with surface, contact force will act. So contact is necessary for contact force to act. Now, when we deal with the contact force, let's use the convention. I'll use n cap from the normal direction, and t cap is in the plane of the surface, tangential direction. And when we talk about the plane, many directions are possible. So tangential direction, we talk about direction in which the motion is likely to take place. Okay, either motion is already taking place or motion is likely to take place. That's the tangential direction. So always the motion is in a vertical plane. So that's a vertical plane we're talking about. So in this, when we talk about contact force, there are two parts here. So when an object is placed here, there's something called, now we can have defined two components with refers to these two axes. One component is which is acting in the normal direction. This component of contact force is called normal reaction. And even the normal component of contact force also, what it is a self-adjusting force. It is no fixed value. We have seen even in case of horizontal surface also, the force value is mg plus a naught. It means if you accelerate the surface in the vertical direction, the contact force changes. So can we define how does contact force change? This simple way to define contact force. What does normal component do? Normal component makes the normal component of two objects. When we talk about there are two objects, object and the surface. It makes the normal component of accelerations equal. That's the role of the normal component. It makes the normal, as long as they're in contact, the normal component of reactions has to become equal. So if, and we can calculate value of normal reaction by using that condition. So what is the condition we use? This object also and this surface. If we take their normal component, both must become equal. That's how we arrive at n, and we can take in some other scenario also. Okay. And what is friction here? Friction is the tangential component. And in a way, it is similar to normal component. Normal component makes the normal component of acceleration equal. This tries to make the tangential component of acceleration equal. So if the surface is at rest in x tangential direction, it will try to keep the object A also at a state of rest. It makes which component equal? It tends to make, so friction is a tangential component, which tends to make the tangential component of accelerations equal. Which two objects? There are two objects which must be in contact. Then only the friction force and normal forces or contact force. But unlike normal force, see if you stand on a ground, if you understand a ground, if 50 kg person acts, if 50 kg person stands on the ground, normal reaction becomes equal to 500 Newton. And even if you bring a road roller also, it will increase. So normal reaction normally doesn't have an upper limit. It can increase to any extent. But in case of friction, though it tries to make the accelerations equal, which also can be stated in a different way. If surface is a zero acceleration, it tends to make the acceleration of A also zero, other object also zero. But it has an upper limit here. So it can keep on, it can act up to a maximum value of μs into n, and it's the normal reaction. So whenever you have to calculate what is the maximum possible friction force, first normal component of contact force has to be calculated. So in a way, you're saying the tangential component, the maximum value of tangential component of contact force depends on the normal component of contact force. So the first normal reaction has to be calculated. Right? And when we talk about friction, we define, we can say basically three different parts. What is static and kinetic and boundary between the two. So what is static friction? Static friction, when slipping is not taking place, means there's no relative motion. Relative motion is both have both tangential velocities are equal, then there's no slipping. tangential velocity, if surface is moving, block A also is moving at the same velocity. If surface is at rest, block A also is at rest. If both have equal velocity in tangential direction, that's called no slipping. And when there's no relative motion, if there's no slipping, in that case, friction force is called static friction. And if no slipping, it means the friction has not necessarily working to its full limit. The friction is less than maximum friction force. It is in the self-adjusting range. Okay, so it is within this limit. So, and it can be, how do we calculate static friction in that case? In that case, we calculate static friction. If they are at rest, even the tangential acceleration also will be equal. So whatever acceleration this has, so using tangential component, we calculate all forces acting in the tangential direction should give an acceleration equal to acceleration of the surface. If the surface is rest, this can be arrived at taking summation of forces. All forces acting in the tangential direction should add up to 0, which essentially means friction has to be equal and opposite to all other tangential components. In this case, since if surface is at rest, this block also is at rest. If the block is at rest, it means acceleration is 0. And in that case, if all tangential component has to add up to 0, it implies friction has to be equal and opposite to remaining tangential components. We'll come to one example here. We'll see it again. This is static friction. And what is kinetic friction? Slipping is already taking place. If the slipping is taking place, means both may have different velocity and they may have different accelerations also. If the slipping is taking place, the friction value, it doesn't depend what the velocity is and what the acceleration is. So in case of kinetic friction, the magnitude of friction is independent of velocity and acceleration. Moment slipping start, it doesn't matter what the speed is, the friction force which is acting is mu k times n, and it is opposite to direction of relative motion. Okay, so compared to surface, this block is moving towards right, friction force will act towards left. And coming back to normal reaction, this is normal reaction. Let's say what happens in case of inclined surface. In case of inclined surface, now I've just many times we use y. See, when we use y perpendicular to a surface, y is nothing but n cap. That's the normal direction, and this is the direction at tangential direction. So the x is in the tangential direction. So in this case also, what are the forces acting? Let's try to understand what is the role of how we arrive at normal reaction when the block is in the state of this surface is in acceleration is 0. First, we'll take this surface here has 0 acceleration. Okay, if it has 0 acceleration means normal component of acceleration of the surface and tangential component both are 0. So in that case, what has to happen when we place the block here? See, what does normal component do? I have shown two forces here. We'll try to understand. This force is downward force is mg, and this force is normal reaction. Normal reaction is perpendicular to surface, and only these two forces acting. What will be the sum of these two forces? If I use the law of vectors, the sum of these two forces is like this. So what has happened here? What is the, how did we arrive at normal force here? This normal force, if we draw this diagram, what this diagram does, it makes the normal component of acceleration 0 by making the sum of normal component also 0. This is how the normal reaction will act when acceleration is 0. Now let's see what happens. Suppose this is not 0, we have given some horizontal acceleration a0. And by giving horizontal acceleration a0, and which is in which direction? This is in the direction. So moment this block is given an acceleration a, this angle is theta. See, this angle is given a0. It will have a normal component also. What is the normal component of acceleration it will have? Normal component of acceleration will be equal to a0 sine theta. So what has to happen? This normal force, what it has to do? Now it has to change. Earlier, it adjusted itself so that normal component of acceleration was 0. Now it has to make normal component is equal to a0 sine theta. Okay. So if it has to make normal component, what happened? N has to increase. Because up to here, now this up to n was here, but it can act in the same direction. So what will happen? Moment I give acceleration, depending on what the acceleration is, this will keep increasing. And if we give an acceleration such that the block is in the state of block does not slip, If block does not slip means block will have acceleration in the horizontal direction. So when the block has acceleration in the horizontal direction, it means vector sum of mg and the normal reaction, it becomes horizontal. And you notice in this case what happens, n value is greater than mg sin theta. This was, sorry, mg cos theta. This was mg cos theta. So as the block has positive normal component of acceleration, this normal reaction has to keep on increasing, which can happen if we give vertical acceleration also. Moment you give vertical acceleration, it means the surface has a positive normal component. It means the normal reaction also has to give positive acceleration to the block. So this has to increase. So any rightward acceleration or upward acceleration of the block increases value of normal reaction and will adjust itself in such a way that n component of acceleration of the surface and n component of acceleration of the block are equal. And I hope this point is understood, and some of you are asking, so this point very clear. Now let's get to some simpler application of friction. And a body is projected at, this is the inclined plane, 45 degree. It is projected up the inclined plane. So when projected up means it is given some velocity in the upward direction. So moment it is projected, it means if the body is of course slipping on the inclined plane. So moment it is slipping, what we arrive at, see many questions, we need to figure out what is the state of friction. Is it static state or kinetic state? Slipping is a kinetic state. So kinetic state friction force, we don't have to worry. Straight away, no, friction force is equal to mu times normal reaction. That's the friction force opposite to direction of motion. So okay, so what we need to do here in this case, so it is given here, it is projected up. If the coefficient of friction is 0.5, what is the retardation of the block? It's extremely simple question. Let's quickly look at that. Okay, other way around. So slipping is taking place, so kinetic friction will act, and mu n opposite to direction of motion. So first what we need to do, so we need to first calculate n here. Since the block itself is not accelerated, normal reaction will equal to mg cos theta. Hence friction force will equal to mu mg cos theta. And friction force will act in this direction. Which direction? If the block is moving in this direction, friction force mu k kinetic friction will act in this direction, and that will be equal to mu mg cos theta. And which direction gravitational force is acting? X tangential component of gravitational force, that also is acting in the same direction. And we know the y direction, there's no acceleration, so we have only taken the component of forces along the tangential or x direction. So these are two forces acting. One is mg sin theta, other is mu mg cos theta. So if the summation of, we take summation of force in y direction 0, we find value of n, and summation of force in x direction we equal to max. So what is the acceleration here? The acceleration will be total force by mass. So this both will add up here. So you notice here the reason we have taken up the question, when the block is tending to slide downwards, in that case mg sin theta acts in the downward direction. Mg sin theta always acts in the downward direction. The friction may act in the upward direction or the downward direction depending on nature of the question. If the block is moving up, friction force will act in the downward direction. Hence this is the retardation. Let's come to our next question here. A block of mass m is placed on the surface which has a vertical cross section. This is a last year mains question. The surface is not like a plane inclined surface, it is a curved surface. And if the coefficient friction is 0.5, what is the maximum height above the ground at which the block can be placed without slipping? You notice here the figure I have drawn is not for a curved surface. Let's first understand for a plane surface. And whatever we understand for plane surface, similar thing is applicable in case of curved surfaces. So let's see what we have to understand here. So this angle is theta here. What are we trying to understand? As the theta changes, how does friction force change and how does normal reaction change? Again, what we are talking about, this whole block, the triangular block is fixed, it has no acceleration. Okay, so what happens here as we keep increasing theta? As we keep increasing theta, what will happen? The component of gravity down the slope, the gravitational force, always it will act down the slope only. And if angle is theta, this component cannot change. This is equal to mg sin theta. This force is acting like this. Okay. And as I mentioned here, as long as we're talking about frictional force, we are concerned about which direction. This is my normal direction, and this is the tangential direction. So in this case, since normal reaction will make the normal component of acceleration also zero, because surface also has zero acceleration, that gives you value of normal force, because here normal reaction is all the time zero. So normal force, normal reaction also is equal to mg cos theta. So in this case, as we keep increasing, what we find here, mg sine theta, and as theta increases, sine theta is increasing function, this component will keep on increasing. So what has to happen? This is the tangential part. What is the role of tangential component of component force, which is friction force? Friction force will tend to make the tangential acceleration zero. How would it make tangential acceleration zero? By applying an equal and opposite force. So it will apply a force. This is how the direction of friction force will act. And as theta increases, this keeps increasing, friction force also will keep on increasing. It will keep adjusting itself so that it is equal and opposite to other force which is acting, and this also will keep on increasing. But we know, as Zandikin, it has an upper limit. So as it keeps increasing, there will be some point of time where we find it will reach its maximum cap. When moment it reaches maximum cap, the theta value corresponding to state where friction force has reached its upper limit, that's called critical angle. So let's understand what happens in case of critical angle. Okay. So critical angle, friction will adjust itself equal and opposite to prevent slipping. It is equal to zero. That is static state. Then we call something as limiting state. Limiting state is important to understand. All questions which start with the wording of maximum and minima. Maximum minima always refers to boundary state. Boundary state is a condition between static and kinetic. Limiting state when friction force is maximum, yet the slipping has not started. If slipping has not started, means acceleration is still zero. That's a condition. So condition here, so if we apply that condition, this force will be equal to mg sine theta c. Why I use suffix here? This theta implies a critical angle. So friction force, this has to be friction force, but which friction force now? Since it is limiting state, I am equating to maximum friction force. And maximum friction force is mu times normal reaction, which gives you tangent of critical angle is mu. So moment that this also is reflected. So if a mu value is something like 1 by root 3, what does it imply? Critical angle will be 30 degree. If angle is less than 30 degree, static friction will act. Angle theta is 30 degree, limiting friction will act. Theta greater than 30 degree, in that case, kinetic friction will act, object will start sliding. So that's what we need to understand from here. So what is the maximum angle? Maximum angle tangent of, so whichever the slope here, tangent of the tangent has to be, tangent of the angle has to be equal to mu. That's the condition for limiting state. Now we apply to this question here. Let's come back to this question. This question surface is like this. And why is something curving like this? So what we understand here, the as from here, let's take, I have drawn x in this direction only. Maybe I could have drawn this x direction. So as the y keeps increasing, what is happening? The slope also is continuously changing. So when we keep the object here, the slope is less. At this point, slope is more, slope is more. So here what we're doing is something different. Here also we found the critical angle by tilting the slope here. And here also by moving to different point of the curve, the slope is increasing. As I keep going from here, slope is increasing. Moment I reach a point where the slope becomes equal to mu, that's the highest point the object can be placed. That's a simple concept involved in this question. As we move up, as the y increases, slope increases, maximum height will correspond to slope at that point being equal to critical slope. So what is this condition? Is this point, if this is a critical condition here, the object is placed here, this is the highest point it is placed. So here, if I draw a tangent here, if I draw a tangent, if I draw a tangent, so it is equivalent to this condition. Okay. So what is the condition? So dy by dx is nothing but tangent of theta. So dy by dx at this point has to be equal to mu. That's how we equate. So what is dy by dx is equal to? Dy by dx is equal to x square by 2 has to equal to 1 by 2. We find the value of x and hence we can find the value of y. So this was a question which was there last year and fairly simple to solve. Next question is this question is a more qualitative question to make you understand. Okay, a small block of 0.1 kg is kept lies on the fixed horizontal plane. So this is a fixed horizontal plane. If mass is 0.1 kg, it means that the weight component which is acting, the gravitational force is equal to 1 Newton. This is the force that is acting. And if nothing else was there, if the surface was smooth, it will start sliding down. Okay, what else is given here? A horizontal force of 1 Newton is applied on the block. So in addition, we also apply horizontal force like 1 Newton. This is applied on the block. And what we find here, after we apply this 1 Newton force, we find the block remains at rest. And this angle is theta. Now choose which of the statement is correct. One statement is, if surface is smooth, theta has to be 45 degree. If theta is less than 45 degree, then direction of friction. So this question relates to direction of friction, whether friction will act in upwards direction or downward direction, or friction can be zero. Friction can be zero in the first option. So how do I understand which direction the friction acts? So this is something to understand direction in which the friction acts. It relates to our basic understanding of friction. What does friction do? Friction, if this is x direction, which is the tangential direction, friction tends to make the acceleration in this direction to be zero if the surface also is at a state of rest. So how does it make the tangential acceleration zero? By whatever external force is acting, it becomes equal and opposite to tangential component of external forces. So what is, let me tell me again. So what is the friction force? How does it make tangential friction zero? Friction force becomes equal and opposite to what? Equal and opposite to tangential component of external forces. If it becomes equal, if it is within limit, then acceleration will be zero. But if this forces exceed F max, the slipping will take place. Here slipping is not taking place, it means friction force is equal and opposite to tangential component. So can we mark here? So direction of friction force depending on which direction, so which force is acting. So if I mark here, if this angle is theta, this will be equal to 1 into cos theta. This will be sine theta. Look, if this angle is theta, we know already. This term 1 Newton is mg. It is mg sine theta. So mg sine theta. Straight away, this force is equal to sine theta. And in that case, and if we apply 1 Newton force, is component. This also I can resolve into two component, normal component and tangential component. Is tangential component will be equal to 1 cos theta. So these are the forces acting. Now what will happen? So if I take if we take x direction, if I take upward direction is positive, external force is cos theta minus sine theta. So what will the friction force be? Friction force will be negative on this. So it depends on if this force if theta is less than 45 degree. What will happen? Let's understand. If theta is less than 45 degree, cos theta is greater than sine theta. This force will be positive. It means force is acting upwards, positive x direction. In that case, friction force will act downwards. When theta is less than 45, external forces are acting upward and friction force will act downwards. What happens if theta is greater than 45? This term becomes negative. It means it is acting, the external forces are acting in negative x direction, downwards. Friction force will act up the force. Friction will act up the slope. So this was only to make you understand how do we find direction of friction force, and this is something simple point we keep in mind. If the object is rest, it means tangential acceleration, net tangential acceleration is zero. So it means friction force is equal and opposite to other external forces, and we can find this answer. Now come to another case here, which is perhaps we have visualized in 3 dimensions, and this helps you perhaps develop better clarity about working of frictional force. So what you notice here, just imagine there's a vertical wall here, and we can pick up a book or a duster, any block. So there's a kind of block here. The block is, block itself doesn't remain at rest. But if you press it down, we know then in that case, it doesn't slide downwards if you press it hard enough. So what is given the question? A block of mass is 0.6 kg. Mass of this block is given. Is pressed against a vertical surface by force of 10 Newton. So this force is acting perpendicular to the surface, and another horizontal force of 8 Newton is applied. This force acting here sideways also. Find the acceleration of the block if a coefficient of friction between the block and the wall is 0.25. Okay, so in this case, again, when we talk about which is the normal direction is this, perpendicular to surface. This is direction in which the force is acting. So when we apply a force here, normal force will act in that direction. And how much will the normal force? Normal force will make the net acceleration in normal direction to be 0. So normal force will become equal to 10 Newton. That is fairly simple. Normal force which will act here will be equal to 10 Newton, normal reaction. That is easy to figure out. So moment we have normal reaction, we know what is the maximum friction which it can act. So if the normal reaction act, maximum value of friction force which can act is 0.25 into n. So it means if we apply tangential force anywhere in the vertical wall, if the tangential force, net tangential force is equal to or less than 2.5 Newton, the block would have remained at rest. But if forces are greater than that, the block will not remain at rest. So let's look at what are the tangential forces. If you want to tangential forces, maybe I think just here we are having three-dimensional view. If we stand away from the wall, if you look at the wall, this will look like a dot. So let's look from this angle. Let's take a view from right in front of the block. We are standing in front of the block. So if in that case, this is how the block will look like. And which is the normal direction? Normal direction is like a dot here. Then let's see which are the forces acting. Then we'll give a direction. So friction force can act anywhere in this plane. This you understand here. What is the plane? Vertical plane. Friction force can act anywhere in the plane. And which friction direction will act and how much it will act. If you pay attention, perhaps you'll get a good understanding. Now, from this orientation, if I look at what are the forces acting, external forces. One external force is this 8 Newton horizontal. But weight also is acting. How much is the weight here? Weight is equal to 6 Newton, right? So if there was no friction, this is something I can extend tail to tail. So what is resultant force? Resultant external force is something like this. So what is the resultant force acting? Resultant external force is acting like this. Okay. So if this is the direction of likely motion. So which direction will the friction act? What does friction do? This is external forces acting. What does friction does? It looks at what are the tangential forces acting. It tries to make it 0. So it will act in this direction. The direction of which friction will act will be opposite to this. So it will act, this becomes the direction of motion, likely motion. So friction will act in the direction opposite to this. And it will be able to prevent any slipping if this force is less than F max. This force is coming equal to 10 Newton, whereas maximum friction force is only 2.5 Newton. So friction force will resist the slipping, but it will not be successful. It will start slipping. In that case, slipping start with what friction force will act? Kinetic friction will act, which will be equal to its maximum value is 2.5 Newton. This is what the motion will look like. So net force acting along the direction will be equal to 7.5 Newton. And 7.5 Newton acting on 0.6 kg, we can calculate what the acceleration it will have. Which direction it will tend to slide? Which direction it will tend to move? It will move in this direction. The direction, if I have to mark this angle, it will move at an angle of 37 degrees with the horizontal. That's how the block will tend to slide. It will tend to slide. So I hope this point, are you all able to? I'm good if most of you understood. And this question, if it is understood, is very good. So many times when it is this kind of motion there, people find it difficult to comprehend. Repulsive force, and we can calculate. Now let's come to this question here. In this question, whatever the two blocks are shown, the block 4 kg block and 2 kg block, they are in contact with each other. The frictional coefficient between block of mass 2 kg is mu1 and this is mu2. So I have taken the first case when mu1 is equal to 0.2 and mu2 is equal to 0.3. So the two blocks are placed and they have different value of mu. The question is, how would the blocks move and what will the acceleration of each of the block and how much friction force will act here? Okay, so if that is what the question is, how do we go about solving? First of all, how do we check will the block slide or not? If we find tangent theta is greater than mu, the blocks will slide. Okay, in this case, we can easily notice the tangent theta. If had placed only one block, if we placed one block one after the other, both the blocks will have tendency to slide. Okay, so first of all, let's explain now. Second thing, what we need to understand, if two blocks were kept separately, this A block separate, rather than keeping side by side, if they have kept them separately at some distance apart, can we easily tell which of the two block? Let me call the first block as, okay, we have not used any notation here. Let me call this block as A and this block is B. Which block will have greater acceleration if there's a gap between the two? Which will have greater acceleration? The one with the lower friction, because when we are tending to slide downwards, how would it happen? Why would it tend to slide downwards? Because one, in tangential direction or along the slope, everywhere this first of all gravity component of gravity acts along the tangential direction, sorry, which is mg into sine theta. And when it's tend to slide down, the friction acts in the opposite direction. And so this is it. And maximum value of friction force, in the friction force acts like this, which is equal to mu into mg cos theta. If it is slipping, if it is not slipping, this friction force is equal to mg sine theta. In this case, slipping will take place. So this is the force. So what is the downward acceleration? Downward acceleration is something I think some of you keep in mind also. G sine theta minus mu cos theta. That's the acceleration. So what do you understand? Higher the value of mu, lower is the acceleration. So if two blocks are kept on the slope, B will have lower acceleration, A will have higher acceleration. So if they are kept behind some distance, what will happen? A will try to overtake B, but it cannot if they are placed in the same path. And if the block which is on the rear side has higher acceleration, then it will try and come and push the front block. So if this has higher acceleration, it will come and push block B. And moment they come in contact, what will happen? They will exerting contact force. Which direction contact force will act on A? The contact force between two surfaces is always pushing in nature. So B will apply a force on A in this direction, and A will apply a force on B in this direction. The moment you apply this force, what will happen? It will tend to increase the acceleration of B and decrease the acceleration of A. So contact force, if at all it acts, it tends to decrease the acceleration of A and increase the acceleration of B. And when would the contact be established? Contact will get established and force will start acting only when A has a greater acceleration than B. That's the only point what we need to understand in this question. Rest all is fairly simple to solve. And so there's no contact will act. Yes, Vignesh?
So in this case, you assume that the two blocks are placed like separately, not like together.
No, even if they are placed together, will they exert any force? In this case, now I'm coming to this question. In this case, initially if they place separately, also what will happen? They will come in contact. Now let's come back to the question. Why? Initially, rather than treating them in contact, I was just trying to understand what would happen if they are placed separately. Because then it's easier to understand. If you place this separately, this block will have higher acceleration. So when we place in contact also, still this has a tendency to have higher acceleration, but it cannot have an acceleration higher than B. That's why the contact force start acting. You understand what is the significance of the contact force? Contact force cannot act in the downward direction on A. Contact force is always pushing in nature. So this will happen, contact force will like this. And what will be the value of contact force if I have to define? What will be the value of contact force? What basis can we work out the value of contact force between A and B? The force will be such which makes the acceleration of A equal to acceleration of B. That's what has to happen. That's why the contact force will act. Now let's try and solve in that case. Now when the contact force start acting, now Vignesh, since you raised the query, answer this question also. Now what is the maximum friction force which can act on A? It is kinetic friction. So kinetic friction acting on A will be equal to mu mg cos 30. And I can put the value, okay, this is a friction acting. But if there's a contact force acting here, Because of contact force, will the friction force change or remain same? This
It will
friction
remain
force,
same, right, sir?
why? See, friction force depends on normal reaction. Normal reaction, now the contact force has started acting. Will that not
Yes.
change normal reaction?
So but that normal reaction should be perpendicular to the plane of the
Correct.
incline, right?
What happens? Why the contact force will not change the? See, again, let's come back to here. Friction force is a kinetic friction. Its value will depend on the normal reaction. But if the contact force is acting between A and B, contact forces do not have any normal component, and hence the friction force value will remain the same. It will not change the friction force. Now let's come and solve this question. So there are few things we had general discussion about what happens when they are in contact. So when they are moving on this, friction force will act. On this also friction force will act. And since this has a larger acceleration, contact force also will act. And because of the presence of contact forces, both will move together as one block. Since they are moving as one block together, can I take the whole thing as a system and calculate the common acceleration? If they are in contact, it basically means they have the same acceleration. If they have same acceleration, I can take A and B block together and then solve. So can I calculate acceleration of both the blocks together and solve? Yes, we can do so. Okay, as flow block will have exert a contact force on 4 kg block, and two blocks will move with a common acceleration. If they move with a common acceleration, two blocks can be taken together as a system, and contact force along the slope will not change the normal reaction, and hence not change the friction force. Not because easy. So how do I write my equation? Now to write the equation here, we have to calculate acceleration in x direction. To calculate acceleration in x direction, I take all the components which are acting in x direction. What are forces acting in x direction? See, total weight is to block together 6 kg is the mass. So 60 into sine 30 is the gravitational force plus friction on first block. Sorry, this is negative side, negative friction on the first block and minus the friction on the second block. Friction on the first block is mu times mg. Mg is 20 into cos 30, and this one is minus 0.3 into 40 into cos 30. I hope all of you understand why we have both friction have to be calculated separately. So this is the net force acting. Moment I have the net force, I divide by 6, I get the value of acceleration. If we have to actually calculate in the examination, whenever we cross cos 30, take as 0.87 and solve. So I hope this point is clear to everyone. Gayatri?
Yes, sir.
How much are you following so far?
Almost everything, sir.
Almost everything is followed? Good. Okay, so this is what the next question is. Let's move on to, okay, very quickly. Okay, almost time now. Okay, then I will stop here. I'll not approach on the for next last time. So I'll stop here. I'll continue from here.